Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Learning Sound and Synthesis Spotlight Series interview. I am here today with Emmanuel Hourquet. Welcome, Emmanuel.
Hi.
Hi, I'm so excited to have this interview with you. I've been working with Emmanuel for a while, and I've really had the joy of being able to watch your journey and your progression into modular synthesis, electronic music, and not just learning how these instruments work, but creating an incredible musical practice around them. This is what we're going to be getting into a little bit today, is how Emmanuel went from essentially feeling like he didn't really have a foundation in music making, was feeling a little bit hectic with everything, to building a really productive and inspiring practice for himself, releasing not one album, but multiple albums. I've actually lost track at this point, which is pretty cool. 4 albums, no big deal. Starting to receive commissions to make music for other people, which I'm really excited to talk about, and starting his own record label, which is so cool. So you are clearly must be very bored and have nothing going on in life.
I don't.
Yeah, okay. So let's start off. First of all, everyone who's tuning in live, go ahead and say hello in the comments. We love to see where you're tuning in from. Let us know where in the world you are, what you had for breakfast this morning. And if you're watching the replay, you can write #replay in the comments and let us know where you're tuning in from as well, so we can give you a shout out after the fact. Okay, let's start off, Emmanuel, with a little intro. Can you tell us who you are, what you do, what kind of music you make?
Okay, so my name is Emmanuel. I live in the southwest of France. I'm an art director and sonic cooker. I like to call it myself like that. I think
So art director and
slash,
sonic cooker.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
what is a sonic cooker? What does that mean?
Actually, it's because after our conversation and my idea of music, I thought for me, music sometimes it's like in cooking, putting ingredient, and sometimes you put too much of this or too much of that, and then you have to, readjust and something. And yeah, I just like the idea of, that kind of sonic cooking thing, like cooking a song and tracks and mangling stuff. Although now I can call myself a musician, yeah, I quite like the idea of the sonic cooker thing, so I keep it like this.
I like it too. So you're a part sonic cooker and part art director. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Your background in
Yeah,
visual arts?
so I work for branding. I mean, for a lot of brands to do branding, packaging, visuals, even for live concerts. I mean, a lot of stuff for many years now. And I think also this has nourished my music ideas and love for music, the visual part of it. I mean, for me, it's really integrate together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that why you started to work on making your own music? Why you were interested in developing those skills, was to add sound to your visuals, or were they unrelated?
No, that's unrelated, in fact, because I was really in a family that was listening to a lot of music. And early stage, I was really into hip hop and beat making and stuff like that, just for my own pleasure. And some years before COVID, and obviously COVID really pushed that, I decided to, yeah, be more serious about my music, and obviously, um, put my music into the world rather than keeping everything in my hard drive or in my machines. And also, I was looking at the path. There is so many things, so many technical aspects and everything, and I feel a bit lost in all these options, and yeah, spending too much money for nothing, and you don't really need it. And also because in design, I really like that ethos of less is more. Yeah, I wanted to embrace that, but it was difficult to, start it.
Yeah, difficult to get started. This is something I
Yeah.
hear. I can relate so personally from that feeling. And I've also heard it from now probably hundreds of my students.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the world of electronic music is vast, and there are so many ways to get started. So how did that look for you, Emmanuel? What did you do? How did you get started? Did you jump straight into my class learning sound and synthesis? Were you kind of exploring on your own for a while first?
Well, I mean, I used to have some machine already, and my plan was to invest in a Euro rack.
Uh-huh.
But I was completely lost, and where I live, there is no really scene or information. So I found your class online, and I thought, okay, maybe it's interesting to at least get the technical insight first. Although it was not only that in your course, but anyway, I primarily signing the class for this reason, for the technical aspect, because I thought, okay, if I can, get rid of some technical tensions, then it will be more easy for me to focus not on the technical aspect, which I don't really like, and more making music, the act of making music, of cooking
Right.
sound.
Cooking.
So, so, the class was really eye opener for me. Was really, I mean, I was with really nice people. I mean, the teaching was excellent and everything, and yeah, so this helped me really to decide what kind of things I want to do with especially Eurorack. And basically I mount a rack after that, and I never really moved to something else.
Amazing.
Yeah. And this is
Yeah.
my main instrument now, with just a Digitag, which is kind of a sampler, beatbox, whatever, which I don't use as a beat. I don't do beat. Anyway, that's another story.
That's another story. So this is your main instrument now, and you're
Yes.
feeling really happy with it. That's really exciting. That's
Yeah.
great to hear. Okay. So when we were talking before we started this live stream, you mentioned that you actually had a little bit of fear and uncertainty around signing up for learning sound synthesis. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of what was going through your mind?
Well, first, I think when you go to this kind of class, my first fear was it was not interactive enough, because there is a million class where you go, you watch video like them, and nothing. There is no interaction. And I think it was really nice to have interaction in your class, and also you can rewatch the class. I still, sometimes I need something about filters, whatever. I just go there and say, stupid me, and then I get an answer. But for me, it was more, the fear was more, I'm not a musician, or the level, things like that. I am at which level I am at. A lot of small doubts, or big maybe. But for me, the big doubt at the end was, maybe I'm not a musician because I don't have any musical background, like classical musical background. And that was, I realized after this class and over mentoring, that was the big issue. Refraining me to complete stuff, because that was the other things. I also signed off on this class because I wanted to get rid of technical aspect to do more music and finish stuff. So,
yes, to finish more music.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, Emmanuel, I want to say that I am so happy that you didn't let that stop you, because look where you are now. You had a fear. Will I be good enough? Am I really a musician? I don't have training. And you did it anyway. One thing led to another, right? You got into the class that probably introduced you to a million things you didn't realize that were out there, sure. People, ways of thinking, et cetera, et cetera. And now look where you are. I mean, it's amazing. You've released multiple albums, 4 albums, now I know. Started your own label. You're probably doing more things than I even know. And so I just want to congratulate you for that. And for anyone who's watching this, I really want you to hear this and maybe like put a little emoji in the comments if this is landing with you, like a little heart or something, because this is really important. You know, it's okay to not have experience in something that you're brand new in. We all have to start somewhere, right? We're all going to be bad at something at first. And the thing about this class, learning sound and synthesis, is that everyone's coming in with different levels of experience. So while one person might be brand new to music, but might be kind of maybe a little experienced on a technical side, another person's going to be completely brand new to anything technical, right? And that's okay, because you're all going to talk and inspire one another and learn from one another. And that's great. I'm just going to bring up a little bit of love, thumbs up, emojis. Yes, you're not alone. And also want to bring Mariano, hello from Mexico, had fruit and coffee for breakfast. Sounds delicious. Welcome. So I hope that that's really resonating. And thank you for sharing that story, Emmanuel. I think it's a really important reminder.
You're welcome.
So, okay, back to you. You went in, you jumped in. Can you talk a little bit about what you would say your biggest accomplishment, maybe one or two biggest accomplishments are that you're really proud of? It could be relating to, you know, your mindset, forming your practice. It could be things that you've done that are more tangible. What do you think?
I don't know, there is so many micro accomplishments that I did step after step.
Well,
I would
those are
say,
great.
yeah, I mean, for me, it was more like, you know, taking my time to do the step, you know, to accept, you know, I want to go there. I have a plan to go there, but there is steps. And I think it's for everything that you're learning, it's kind of the same. You can try to go to be, you know, quickly, but sometimes you have to be slow. And I'm a slow learner. But I think the best accomplishment I did, and I still do that as a practice, is to basically record every single thing I do. Every time I have 5 minutes in the studio or 2 hours, I just record from the minute I, you know, start. I record as a crazy, and then I edit later, because I realize also, as an analogy for design, that editing is also really a big part of it. And sometimes, you know, you're there, you find the moment, and you forget it if you don't record it. And then for these little things, you can, you know, reuse it. You know, it can be real little gems that we think, oh, well, yeah, it was just a moment. But then when you take the time to listen to it, and that's the other accomplishment, I think it's the way I changed my mind about listening to music, listening to my own sound. You know, be proud of my sound. You know, it's not just about, you know, I don't like, I mean, I hear so many musicians, oh, I can't hear my own music. Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Okay, so can you talk more about what did you change to get, did you just decide one day that you were going to be proud of yourself? I mean, that's valid if it
No, I
is.
mean,
How did you do that?
when I said proud of myself, it was more about, you know, saying, you know, even if there is only one person that listens to my music, and I get like a thumb on Instagram or nothing in a way, I don't care, but I'm going to do it. You know, it's like plunging, you know. And I think from the day I plunge, like I did in my career in art and everything, you know, I think sometimes when you want to do a new thing, you have to, you know, take a step back and realize, but I did that before in my career or something else, but maybe I need to find an analogy for music, you know.
Yes.
And then decide, okay, I'm going to plunge. And maybe I'm a noob at swimming, but, you know, step by step, I will go surfing. And, you know, that's kind of a stupid analogy, but in a way,
No,
that's
yeah.
how I, you know, I can, and I still learning and I still swimming and, you know, whatever. But and I think we are all learning all, you know, all our life, and that's great.
Yes. Well, that's definitely the right you know, the mindset to have that's going to allow you to have continued growth, right? Being like, I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly receiving new information. That's going to set you up for success. But I love this idea of you took a plunge. I just think that's great. I mean, it's simple, but it's so powerful. You know, we talk about in module 0 of learning sound and synthesis, I share some different approaches to getting the most out of the class. And one of the things that I say is you have to take action. This is a class that is about making music. It's not a class just about like you said, watching videos and learning, oh, interesting theory. Yes. Okay. It's about taking the idea and then going, okay, now what do I want to do with that? What do I want to say musically with that cool new tool that I now have? And the comparison that I make is also about taking a plunge into water, right? Because you can read a book all about swimming, but you're not going to know how to swim until you are in the water figuring it out.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with making music. So I think it's just so great that you decided, you went for it, and you didn't let, you know, anything from the outside world get in your way and kind of pull you off of that path. It's awesome. Can you talk a little bit more about this? I want to get a little deeper into the record everything, listen back. Can you break that down? Because I think a lot of people who try to record everything, what ends up happening is they have hard drives full of music that they never listen to again, right? They record it and then it just gets lost. So what's your process? How do you turn it into something?
Basically, I have a small recorder module in my rack. It's a 4MS module that record on a little card, SD card. And basically, every time I switch on my chain of music, I record. And then after the session, even if I sometimes I spend 5 minutes a day on my machines because I have other things to do. But anyway, I record that, and then I have time in my calendar to basically go over all the files, and then I curate my own file. So I'm saying, oh yeah, this it's not, it doesn't click with me to do a real sound, or how I can resample that or whatever. So there is things in that go into I don't know, like a ghost folder, if you want, where I keep everything anyway. But then there is things that I move to a folder like work in progress, and from there I don't know, every week I re-listen to stuff with monitors in the calm of my. I don't have a real studio, but in the room where I have my studio, I just listen to stuff and write notes or make some doodles, and then sometimes it's go into an album, sometimes not, but sometimes I use that for commissions, and I remember, yeah, but I have these things in folder number whatever. It's a bit stupid maybe to but for me it's like a documentalist, you know where you have your stuff, and it's in a lot of practice you need to come back to books, techniques, ideas. For me it's like a giant mood board, like I do a lot of mood boards in my work, in my visual work. For me that's exactly the same. So I have like folders that say ambient, more this, more that. It's not like there is not a lot of folders in a way, but like that I know where I can pick up stuff and work from there.
That's great. Okay, so a couple things that you said that I'm just going to echo for people is one, this I think is probably the biggest thing, is you're scheduling time to listen back. That's I think the single missing ingredient for a lot of people, right? You're not just hoping that one day you'll get back to it. You're actually putting time into your schedule, into your creative schedule, to listen. And the word you used was curate, which I think is really great. So decide, what could this be for, or what feeling does this bring up? Is it, ambient or nostalgic or driving or, whatever. And I think the second thing is that using these, it'll be different for everybody, but using organization folders that are organized based on like your feeling or the emotion of the music rather than, oh, it was recorded on this instrument or on this day. That doesn't seem as helpful. But, 3 months down the line when you're like, I need something that feels, expansive and epic. And you're like, oh, I have a whole epic folder of things that at some point I thought were epic. That's really clever. Yeah. So take note, everyone. This is great. Is there anything else about that process you want to add?
No, I think it's just kind of a diary kind of thing. People write things every day, and I just document my music in a way. That's it.
Yeah.
I think for me the it's not forcing to listen to stuff. It's more about I listen back to my music because also if you listen to your folder of I don't know whatever ambient stuff, you realize 10 months ago and now you can hear the difference, whatever. I mean you can find joy in your own stuff. You don't have to always like refer to other people saying, oh yeah, I should do that, I should do this, but then you should do nothing. Honestly,
Right.
I went there, so I know,
Yeah.
for multiple aspects of my work and life. So, now I just realize I need to document everything. I think it's a very good practice to keep recording your stuff because, especially with modular, because there is, the next time you will try to do the same, it's not going to sound the same. Yeah, for many reasons, electricity, knobs, whatever. So for me,
Right.
it's really like, it's not VCV rack in a way, either. So yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, there's so many good things, but the joy, the little comment that you said about, finding, I don't remember your exact words, but having fun listening back, finding joy in yourself and your, I mean, that's so great. How cool is it to listen to something you made 6 months ago that maybe you completely forgot about and be like, wow, that's good. That's really nice. That's a really lovely thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember on one of my last album, which was about memories and stuff, I record a lot of stuff last summer when I was in my grandparents' house, and my grandmother died just month before, and I put all that in a folder. And then when I was looking and working on this album, I found all these snippets of music, and I was like, "That's it. That's what I want to say." And then of course I work on that. It was not just these samples, but
Yeah.
and so sometimes you are in the mood, you listen to something again and it click.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
At least it's my perception of it.
Yeah, that's great. And the more work that you're doing up front, recording and organizing and curating, the better you're setting yourself up for those moments for things to kind of click in the future. It's a nice way of thinking about it. Okay. Let's so we have a good picture of your kind of creative process and how you developed that. Can you tell us about all of these other creative projects, the label? You're doing so much, so maybe just choose one thing that you really want to tell us about, and then I'll share some links for people to follow along.
I mean, the commission, I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's kind of new.
Okay.
But and I'm developing that. But the label for me was really a big thing. I had this idea in my head about exchanging, so the label is called Sonic Dialogue, and basically it's really a sonic conversation between two artists always. And the idea is that the artists exchange sample or idea or even visuals, and they work with the visual or the music of the other. So it's like it's not your own music you're using; it's music of someone else. And so that was the starting point of the label. And then I'm on some Discord. I discuss with a lot of people, and I found some, really good artists that I wanted to work with, and I start to work with them, and then I developed the label like that. And there is a lot of things coming. There is about, a lot coming. Yeah,
How
actually, there
exciting.
is actually a project. There is a sub label of the Sonic Dialogue called Dairy, and it's about documenting the studio approach. So there will be a lot of artists documenting how they work in their studio, all the mistake, accident they will be recording and on tape. And every month there will be a new artist showing, explaining stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that sounds incredible. It's such an amazing premise for a label. Thank you so much for sharing. I dropped a
You're
link in
welcome.
the chat while you were talking, so everyone can go check that out. Sonic Dialogue. I love that. And I'm also going to put a link here to Emmanuel's music on your own personal Bandcamp so that you can
Yeah.
go listen to all 4 of those records,
Yeah.
which are really beautiful, folks.
Thank
Just
you.
do yourself a favor if you need to calm down or, find a little moment of peace. They are very beautiful albums. Yeah, okay, this is so great. So I want to take a brief moment here. I'm going to put one more link in the chat here, which is the link to the waitlist for learning sound and synthesis, which is my online modular synthesis and sound design class that Emmanuel joined a while ago at this point,
Yeah,
and
right.
that we've been talking about during this interview. For those of you who are interested listening to this and this is resonating with you, if you want to make more of your own music or uh, you know develop new skills to take your music making into new directions with modular synths and other electronic instruments, I would love to invite you to check out Learning Sound and Synthesis. And in fact, enrollment is opening in just over 1 week from today, which is really, really exciting. So if you click on that link, soundandsynthesis.com, you can go to join the waitlist. You can put your email in, and joining the waitlist just means that you're going to be the first notified when the doors officially open. You're going to get all of the links to register and information about the class. And you'll also get a special extra masterclass that I put together that's all about live performance with modular synthesizers. And that's exclusively a bonus for folks who are on the waitlist and join from the waitlist. So if you have any questions, send me a DM, leave a comment, send me an email. I'm more than happy to chat anytime. But yeah, I wanted to just make sure to let you all know it's right around the corner. And I already can tell that the fall 2023 cohort is going to be very special. They're always special, but I have extra good feelings about about this one coming up based on all the conversations I've been having with all of you so far. Okay, so Emmanuel, is there anything else that you would like to share about your journey, about what has been, most helpful for you, or any other takeaways that you have had over the months?
No, I think it's the big takeaway. It's about fear. It's like making sure that you overcome your fear that you are like this or not as good as this guy. Blah blah blah. It's really, and I'm not saying that just as a promotion or something. It's really like something I discover, like be yourself and then do what you want to do, like to do, and then things will happen or not, but you will be happy. I do music first, to be happy, because it gives me this kind of emotional, sense and motivation, and that's it. After that, if people like my music, if they purchasing my album and I get commission, great. But first it's about enjoying yourself. If you force things, it's not going to happen.
I love that. I love that. And the one last comment that I feel really compelled to just share about fear is a lot of the time people wait, they feel like they need to wait for their fear to pass before they do something. And that's a little backwards. In my experience, the way to overcome, quote unquote, overcome fear is to just buddy up close to it, accept that it's part of life, and to do it anyway. Do it scared. That's the biggest thing I can offer you folks, is just do it scared. Because if you wait for the fear to pass, you might be waiting forever. If you take the plunge and you do it anyway, you're going to realize, I pretty much can guarantee you're going to realize you're more capable than you thought. You know, everything is going to be okay. You'll learn a whole lot of things. And you'll look back and go, wonder why I was so scared of that. You know, I can do this. So, yeah. I want to pull up one comment from Chris, who's watching. First happiness, everything else will follow. Yes. There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. I didn't. Emmanuel said it. Okay, well, thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for this.
For having me.
Yeah, really inspiring interview. And congratulations sincerely on all of your amazing work that you're doing. The label, the way that you're helping amplify other artists, that's really amazing. Your own music. Yeah, congrats. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And to everyone watching, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, okay. We'll see you out there. See you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.